Hiroshi Hasegawa is the man entrusted with turning the sketches into something more tangible. 4 years down the line, and the front, the rear, and other details are still being tweaked, with the release of the car due within a year. Hasegawa's team works on a full-size clay model, based point for point on the technical drawings. It's the only way to get the true feel of the car as a car, rather than just as a stylish drawing on a screen. Hasegawa needs to know that every detail is right, inside and out.
やはり一つ、GTR が今まで日本でやってきた、
We want to protect the image of the GTR for the new design to show its heritage, its DNA.
ファンクショナリティと、
The design also needs to project efficiency and performance as it's branded as a supercar.
これ今度この車から、世界に
We want to combine Japanese and modern culture for the GTR to be suitable for its overseas
日
debut.
本が持つ、カルチャーというかモダンカルチャーの部分を、織り込んでいけたらいいなという思いを伝えて、デザインをスタートしました。
It may be the most eagerly awaited car of its generation, so it has to look the part. All Japanese, yet sporty, and it also has to be aerodynamic, holding together at speeds of 300 kilometers per hour. More important than its looks, though, will be what the car can achieve, and whether it can lay claim to being a supercar. The GTR needs to be fast, seriously fast. The challenge? To match or beat the Porsche 911 Turbo at everything. And to do this, it needs a whole new engine. The most powerful production engine Nissan has ever built. Most factories mass produce these parts. But here, each engine is carefully crafted by one of 8 specially selected technicians. This V6 480 horsepower engine is capable of rocketing the car from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.5 seconds. Its rival, the Porsche, has similar specs. 6 cylinders, twin turbo, same horsepower. The challenge is to build a car that is not only supercar fast, but has a cheaper price tag and can outhandle its rival. Balance and weight distribution are crucial. The GTR's engine sits behind the front axle, and the gearbox is rear-mounted. 2 lightweight drive shafts distribute the power to 4 wheels, a unique all-wheel drive system which the engineers believe will help produce one of the fastest production cars in the world. With the engines going into the first prototype GTRs, it's clear this is going to be a close race. It's a chilly day at the Sendai Highland Raceway, high in the mountains in northern Japan. This secluded racetrack has been chosen for some of the top secret testing of the new Nissan GTR. The engineers are braving the cold to make sure that their latest innovations are actually going to function as expected. Computer analysis is all well and good, but nothing compares to a test behind the wheel. The prototypes arrive. It's the moment of truth. The unfinished details are covered up. They don't want anything that's not final to leak out. To add a little extra pressure, Carlos Goen, the big boss, is coming to test his pet project. He wants to compare the GTR directly with the Porsche 911. The engineering team is determined not to let him down. A final check before the serious testing begins. Engine designer Naoki Nakada is excited that his engine will be given a workout.
This is the first shakedown for the car, so it's an emotional day for me. I want them to enjoy driving this car with a top speed of 300 kilometers per hour.
The test driver makes his appearance. He's under instructions from GTR chief engineer and project leader Kazutoshi Mizuno to give this car a real workout today. Mizuno is the person bringing all this together. The success of the overall project rests on his shoulders. It's not long before the car's out on the track. The engineers can see their hard work is paying off. It's not just that this is the most powerful production engine Nissan has ever produced. The car's design is an aerodynamic marvel. Its streamlined body creates as little drag as possible, better than almost any other production car. The GTR slips through the air more easily than the less streamlined body of the Porsche, potentially a key advantage in the battle of the supercars. The airflow over and through the GTR creates downforce that stabilizes the car, resulting in more secure handling and better control around corners. What really holds back a sports car, though, is the time the transmission takes to change gear, especially in an automatic. Borg Warner, the hired-in experts in the field, came up with something really rather clever.
It is the world's first transaxle dual-clutch transmission.
What they did was provide not one, but two clutches. One for the odd gears, one for the even. So when you change into an odd gear, the next even one is all set and waiting, ready to engage in an instant.
Everyone talks about, 0.2 seconds or something like that as a very fast shift time. This transmission actually shifts well below 0.1 seconds. So there are shifts which you can do in 50 milliseconds. And that's amazingly fast for a complete automatic transmission, which provides you with all the shift comfort that you are used to with a conventional automatic.
The other thing that's important for a car doing more than 300 kilometers per hour is that it stops again. And the GTR, despite the best efforts of the engineers, is not light, weighing in at over 1,700 kilograms. This means some serious grip is required on the four wheels. Huge, fully ventilated steel disc brakes are the order of the day. But under these conditions, even these monsters are at their limits, and Kazutoshi Mizuno wants to make sure they're not overheating.
Yes, I'm ready to change it. No problem.
It's not just for himself that he's worried. Everything, but everything has to work properly today. Because today's the day that Nissan boss Carlos Ghosn is coming for his first test drive of the new GTR.
I'm proud of what I've done, so I'm not nervous about the fact that Carlos Ghosn is coming today to see and drive the car.
Carlos Ghosn is regarded as a superstar in the automotive industry. He's the CEO of two car companies on different continents, Nissan in Japan and Renault in France. But in Japan, his status has a little extra gloss because he's known as the man who saved Nissan. So his entrance is quite an event for the gathered project workers. He's just jetted in from his other job at Renault, so he's a little tired.
この開発のボスはカルロス・ゴーンさんであり、僕らのなんていうんですかね。
Mr. Ghosn is the boss, and he's our parent. This project wouldn't have existed without him. So I want him to see every step of the project, and we want to cross-check if we've achieved everything he wanted us to achieve.
本当に僕らの作ろうとしている車とゴーンさんが描いている完成された姿のとにかくクロスチェックを今日したいと。
Time for a quick change and a few laps in the GTR. First, though, a drive in the benchmark car, the Porsche 911 Turbo.
No, I prefer to do more laps with the GTR. Okay. So here, maybe 2 laps, and then we do 3 all here.
Gowen's not going to take the wheel himself. This calls for the steady hand of the test driver.
I can get it. It's here. There it is. Yeah.
The Porsche goes wherever the GTRs go. There's always the opportunity to drive both cars for direct comparison. Two super fast laps show Gowen how the Porsche performed.